Hey, hello, Computer Studies 10. We have our lovely project we are working on, and we're trying to animate a single character from a sprite sheet. And so far, we've added in a couple of moves. We got an idle action. That's, what happens when you're not touching any keys. And then we got some, different costumes like walking left, walking right. And what was special about these actions, what made this, a video you needed to watch to learn how to use, was that these things need to be able to interrupt each other. We have, if I go to the code, we got ourselves some lovely, scripts here. They're so, a lot more complicated than at first glance you need to, because they need to access the costume list at the same time, and we have to prevent them from overlapping with each other. So we have all these extra ifs and the action variable to kind of turn things on and off when an action interrupts another action. So today, we're going to be looking at what about actions that should not be interrupted. For example, in Street Fighter and many other games that are sort of this style of 2D sprite, an attack should not be interrupted. You shouldn't be able to kick in the middle of the kick, like start walking. Or if you kick and let go of the key, it snaps back to the idle action, right? That's not how it works. Usually you press a key and it has to commit all the way through the attack, whatever that is, punch, kick, shooting a gun, until once that action is completed, the animation cycle is over, then it goes back to allowing you to control stuff. So that's what we're going to do, making an action that is not interruptible. So I have some costumes here. I have a kick. It's not perfect. I don't love how it looks, but this is what I got. I have these kicks. It's supposed to be an axe kick, and I think I kind of, cobbled it together. It's not quite perfect, but it'll do. So you'll need to find something that's not interruptible as well. It could be a getting knocked down script. It could be, it could be all sorts of different things. It could be an attack. You name it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter too much. Okay, so I am going to build that with the Z key. I got the arrow keys, and the Z key will be my kick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically copy and paste this script here, but I'm going to change a few things. I'm going to duplicate. First of all, I'm going to change the action to, this is an axe kick. So that's what my new action's called. I'm going to give myself a little more space. So we got the axe kick. We're not going to point in a particular direction. I just want to kick in the direction I'm currently facing. So I don't want to, force myself to be in a particular direction. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip away all the if statements. So I don't want to be able to interrupt it. So I'm going to get rid of this if statement. And I'm going to get rid of this if statement. So if we zoom in, I think I can zoom in. Yeah, it wasn't quite what I wanted. There we go. You can see this is a little bit closer to our finished script. Notice that we won't be able to interrupt it. Once it starts, it will continue moving forward. It's not done yet, though. There's going to be some more things we need to do. Last but not least, I'm going to manually set the action back to idle at the end. Now, we're not done, but it'll be a start, and we can see what's going on. So if I do this, this is a reasonable start. So let's go and see what it looks like. Here I'm, bobbing up and down, and I press the Z. And you'll notice it doesn't really do its action. It looks like he's getting started with it. And if I press it, I can hold it down over and over again. Like you almost get into doing it, but he's hesitant. He's like, yeah, I really want to kick, and the user's pressing Z, but I'm too shy. I don't know. Ryu's not a shy guy, so I think I think what's happening is that our scripts are conflicting with each other. So an uninterruptible action can't get started because the other scripts, especially this script here, I'm not pressing the right key or the left key, so it's constantly setting action back to idle. And that means that this script over here is triggering because action is idle, and so it sets it back to the idle costume, which interrupts all, oops, sorry. It interrupts this whole cycle of costume changing. And also, I guess I set it to, not to walking, I need to set that to axe. I think it's H kick. So now what does that look like, actually? So that looks okay, actually. It's not so bad, but you can see that in the middle, like, sometimes he'll snap back. Yeah, like, oftentimes, like, he just goes a little bit through it, or he jumps straight out. Sometimes it looks not bad, but, now that I've made that slight improvement, it's still pretty janky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a new script to make sure that, I don't automatically go back to idle because I'm not pressing the arrow key. Now I don't want to put the Z key in here because I just tap the Z key and it should go through the entire action. I don't need to hold down the Z key. So what I'm going to do instead is going to add in not action equals axe kick. That's going to be the sweet spot. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it into my new and, I'm going to place the and in here. It's really important to make sure that you have the nots in the ands and not other way around. Like if I take these out, if I take out all the knots, you should see, it's going to be a little tricky. Like it's just and. You know, and if I wanted to put another one in, I would put the next and here, for example. And then the knots are going to go inside of there. If you mess it up, it's sort of like messing up parentheses in math. You'll end up having sort of the knot distributed through other actions and maybe canceling them out. And that might be a worthwhile thing to look into class just to see how that structure plays out. So I'll put those all back that way. And now we're getting close. So now if I press the Z key, it goes through the action. I just have to tap it and it goes through the whole action. I can still interrupt it though. Like if another action, like if I start walking in the middle of the kick, still is a problem. So I have to teach all my other actions to not interrupt it. So basically I'm going to add this if statement here. I'm going to be able to press the right key as long as I'm not axe kicking. So I'm going to put that around my walking right and around my walking left as well. And you'd have to put this in for any other actions that are, you know, the interrupting or interruptible actions, as well as non-interruptible actions. So this list might grow. As you get more and more attacks or other things, you could put in sort of ands in here as well to make sure that, you know, you're not doing other non-interruptible actions before you begin. So this list will grow as you add in new actions. Okay, so let's see how that looks now. So I'm gonna, you know, walk left, everything's still working. Oh, I should press green flag. Walk left. So this is still working. Now I'm gonna axe kick, looks good. I'm going to try to, I'm pressing the keys, trying to interrupt the axe kick, can't interrupt it. And I can face both ways, so it's looking pretty good. So when you get your action done, test it out this way as well. You know, tap the Z key, see if it goes through the whole cycle. Tap the Z key and press the other keys, see if you can interrupt it. And if you can't interrupt it, hey, you made an uninterruptible or non-interruptible action. And that is exactly what we set out to do in this video. You'll probably add in a few more various attacks, a punch, a kick, a shoot, also like getting hit, you know, falling backwards. Those are all examples of non-interruptible actions, and hopefully you have something you can find on your sprite sheet that will allow you to try that programming out. And if not, then, you know, call me over. We'll take a look at it. We'll figure out something you can use in the meantime. There's only one thing left in this series, and that's to jump, adding in some kind of gravity and the character, you know, jumping through the air. Oh, and I guess there's also actual movement. Like we have costumes moving around, but we don't have the character actually walking through the screen. So we'll add that in as well in the next video. Okay, thanks so much, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful day.